Hey guys, I am John Carrick, and today we are looking at Secret number 3. We did 1 and 2 a ways back, and today I decided I'd read the third one. Jonathan Hickman and Ryan Bodenheim. It's a good book. It's better than the first two. It's better than I remember the first two being. And I remember what happened in the first two. But this is, let's just say this is your first comic of The Secret. I believe this is a 6-issue limited series. Restroom. Look, I should talk about the art for a second first. I really like Ryan Bodenheim's art, but I don't know if it's inked or not. The colorist is doing probably what they paid him to do, which is not, this is a flashback, so maybe these are flashback colors, but they don't really leave this sort of two-tone color palette throughout this book. I could say that they're phoning it in. I could say they're doing what they're being paid to do, but this is just the style or the theme. Maybe we didn't want to spend that much money on this book, so do whatever you think is worth that much. This really is kind of a Netflix pitch, but let's just look at this story. So here's this guy Grant, this John Hamm looking character in a restroom. This is a spy story. He walks in between these two guys. At first I thought he was going to say something about, isn't it creepy having to step between two guys? But then he says, hey, isn't it crazy who they're letting into America these days? And then we get a hard cut before the end of the page to Thomas and Grant while exiting a building, talking about meeting someone. And I guess they're not here yet. They always make us wait. This is just how it goes. So here they are waiting. Okay, I see them. They're coming. And they're talking like they're spies. This is a spy book, so it's got that feel to the dialogue. It's not quite David Mamet, but it's relevant. They're about 20 seconds out. Let me do the talking. You know I'm better at this than you. Blah, 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 blah. It's spy patter. And it's fine. I really like the art. I wish it was colored more realistically. But, and I'm wondering if these are inked pencils or if they're just scanned pencils and the resolution is bumped up and maybe they're cleaned up a bit. It's hard to say. The grit and the texture on the walls looks like it has a feeling like graphite, but it might be the colorist. If it is the colorist, I really wish he'd gone on to, do the colors. I think these are pencils and loose colors. I think these are very good artists who were explained. It was explained to them that, look, we know you guys are good and you could do much better than this, but we just want the bare minimum. That's all we want to invest in this story. And I don't know if Jonathan Hickman took that as an insult, that they just want to invest the bare minimum in his story. For a bare minimum, this is great. Like, I want to see better colors because this art deserves better colors. The quality of this art earns a better coloring job, and I blame Image for the lack thereof. So that's why I say don't do comics if you're not doing the comic for the comic, don't do it. This is a great comic in and of itself. If this can't recoup its value without being a pitch for Netflix, then maybe think about a different business. This is awesome just on its own. I love comics because I love the comics medium. I like this in some ways better than TV. I really, really do. There's a lot of respect and there's a lot that goes into this. Oh my God. Now we're going to say, sorry, I should explain also the hard cuts, right? So here, something's going on. Here, something else is going on. This bit is a blind date, obviously. These are spies on a blind date. They're like, what were you guys up to? Oh, we were just shopping. The girls made them wait because they were out shopping. They wanted to make sure the guys would get there. They didn't want to be stood up. And she's nervous, of course, holding her arm like that. That posture is a very nervous person, anxious posture. I know because I had that posture through most of junior high. Getting my ass kicked every day at school, getting my ass kicked at home every day by my parents. And I didn't know what to do. And I was the oldest of 14 kids. So not 14 in junior high. I was the oldest of 7 maybe then, or 10. So I had to set an example while just getting abused everywhere I went. It was not easy. Anyhow, this is obviously she's warming up to him. She likes him. What were you guys up to today? Oh, nothing. We just had just running around doing some errands. He steps out of the stall and puts a bullet through both guys' heads. That is a skill. That is Delta operators. No one can do that. Almost no one can do that. Like, you got to be somebody special to pull off a shot like that. There is a scene in Silverado where Kevin Costner does this around the corner of a building. And it's even way more impossible than this because he does it at a 90-degree angle. This is like a what, 20 degree angle? Yeah, it's even harder to do that around a 90-degree angle. And I'm having a rough day today. Once I forgot the name of the word stall, and now I forgot the name of Kevin Costner. Maybe I'm losing my mind, along with my vision. It's not fair. This is called The System, book number 3. There are no ads in this Image comic. So this is another flashback. This is a flashback that is current. This is a current flashback because this is Grant's brother, who I don't remember his name, but he's out of prison, and Grant is missing part of a finger because his dad caught them stealing and said you can't get caught. Or they got caught stealing and his dad cut off his finger because he said you can't get caught. And so here's this priest comes out and does a little speech about how great a guy Thomas was. And Thomas is dead. I don't remember how he died. This is what the scene is about. Not sure. Maybe Thomas died in the last issue. I think we find out up here how Thomas died. And I just read this too. This is Grant's boss, who tells him you don't need to know why this. He was on a mission. He got killed on a mission. Grant wants to know why, and his boss is giving him a runaround. And Grant needs to figure it out. He wants to figure it out. So that's what happens. That's what's going on here. Here's Grant and his brother, and they are discussing everything. Grant smashes his television with a beer bottle. His brother just got out of jail. He doesn't want to pull his brother into it, but it's kind of hard not to, given that this is what he's dealing with. Basically, I believe Thomas got sacrificed for the company that Grant works for. So this is just Grant and his brother talking about Thomas and about Grant's boss likely being involved, likely having set him up. Grant's brother's name is Marcus. So, if you want to say something, Marcus, just say it. I think it's your boss. Your boss is doing this. So Grant goes out to recruit a new hacker. And this is the company that he interviewed with at the beginning of the series. And he is looking for someone with hacking skills and low moral compass. So this guy says, I think we got just who you need. Calls this kid in, Mr. Kwan, and says, you're working at a forensic accounting company. Don't you think it would be kind of stupid to steal $500,000? Where's the money? It's obvious that you stole it. We have you on video at your station when it was stolen from your station. We just can't see where you sent it. And tell us where you sent it, and, maybe we'll go easy on you. Something like that. Kid says, oh, sure, no problem. And he says, what does he say about the friend? He makes some big statement about working at a forensic accounting company. Like, you must be out of your mind. And the kid says, you're absolutely right. That's why I kept all the evidence about how you asked me to transfer it to your wife's account, where 400,000 of it is right now. I only kept 100,000 for myself. I have all the evidence of our correspondence about this. So yeah, you can fire me if you like. This guy, Grant, says he's perfect. We'll take him. So the kid didn't just steal the money. He pinned it on his boss. So if it did get discovered, this guy would realize that the kid had set him up. And now they're driving. The art is amazing. Look at how good the art is. Page doesn't need any words, right? This is why I love comics. There's a lot of scenes like this in TV that don't need any dialogue. This is what I love about comics. I love comics with little to no dialogue, especially when it's really well done. So this is Grant and the kid. They bring him into a big, huge computer suite, and they ask him to hack his boss. So now we're starting to find out what's going on. He figured it out. He said everything was in code, but I traced back the connective tissue, like which jobs went to which accounts, et cetera, et cetera. So he was able to unravel it, and this is it. So the next 3 issues are going to be about all the dirty little deals his company has been doing and sacrificing their team members for. Here we get a couple good ads. This is a decent comic. It doesn't aim very high. I read the digital version of The Killer, the Michael Fassbender movie. I think that was Image. All right, let's do the next bit. So, secret number 3. Again, I love the artwork. I know this is working towards something. I know this has a goal in mind, but I think what this series is suffering from is that the goal is as obscured as these 2 scenes right here. This whole series is kind of like this nested story where you've got meeting the 2 girls while the guys were out killing these guys. So that is kind of, it's braided through time. It's sort of a looped storyline. Circle back, I guess you could call this series Circle Back. I think they were trying something. I can't say it doesn't work until I get to the end, but it's not captivating at the beginning, and that's dangerous. That's dangerous for a comic. So today's card, number 9 of diamonds. This is Conflicted Deck 2. This is a encounter card for writing, or for, it's a game technically, but really what it is a writing encounter card. And it says, you and your family are out after the collapse, the end of the world, and you are running out of food. Things are looking bleak. They specifically used the word bleak. And you run into a group of people who have food to barter, canned goods and whatnot, but the only thing of value you have is your firearm. So what do? In my case, I would go find something else of value. Things aren't, it's easy for me because I don't have a family, so it's just me. I wouldn't kill all of them. That's absurd. I would offer services. If I have a gun and they need a gun, then they need a gun, and I'll carry the gun. So that way you can share their food. If depending on how many of them there are, if there's not that many, if there's only 2 of them, they're not going to go for that, obviously. But I don't want to go around killing people at the end of the world. I don't want to see the end of the world. I don't want to be a racist. I was thinking about that. Something Anthony Jeselnik said. He said anyone who does racial slurs in their bit, he doesn't have any time for them. And I agree with that. I don't do racial slurs in my writing. I don't do bullying in my writing. I think that's bullying. And so when I've come out here and said things like, I'm racist, that's because we're in a culture where to not be aware of your race is to potentially be victimized very brutally. You saw that guy who was telling, there was some guy out smashing up. Well, and you know what? Maybe it's not race. Maybe it's just common sense. You don't have to be racist not to interfere with someone who's smashing up a bunch of bicycles. White or black, you don't mess with that guy. Yeah, I don't like that in work. I don't like that in our culture. I hate it in our culture. I want it to be gone. And I know this was set up as this is justice is how it was billed, but really it's petty revenge for small people who can't get past whatever problems they have. And maybe I'm one of those small people, but I don't hate people on sight because of their race. I absolutely do not do that. Life is too short for that. Life is way too short for that. But if someone gets in my face, and if someone, I have felt, blacks say they feel discriminated against. I'm sure they do. The same as you would being in Japan. Life is not easy. So maybe it's karma that white guys like me have suffered for being white, I suppose. I've probably gotten as much advantage out of it as anything else. I don't like to think about it. It's the culture has gotten really bad, and it's been done deliberately. Like, can we at least agree that the culture war is manufactured? It's not natural. It's not organic. It's manufactured. This is being done by people who have something to gain from it. So that's my response. My response is to the people who are organizing it. I despise them. And I despise the people who play into it too. I don't play into it, but I can't ignore it either. It is something that's going on. So something you got to be aware of, you know. And it has to, you know, acknowledging it isn't the same thing as engaging. Engaging is absolutely different. That's simple. That's pretty simple. So engaging means producing racist and race baiting works, which I don't want to be engaged in, which is not what this channel is about at all. So I love the medium of comics. I love writing. I love reading novels. So I've never been as fast an artist as I could or should have been. I never dedicated my life to the art. I dedicated my life to the story. And I have 2 novels out, Legacy of Mad Scientist and The Legend of Ashley Fox. They are here on YouTube for you guys as audiobooks to listen to if you like. I'm working on a 3rd one. Got another 1,000 words done last night. Getting really close to the end on this one. It's a matter of days. I write my stories chronologically. So there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. And this is about an 8-week story, and I'm down to the last week. So I'm pretty excited. It's been a lot of fun. Yeah. All right. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.